Hey everybody, welcome back to the Alamodome Audible Podcast. This is episode 185, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host Adrian Bermudez. I guess I should say my name. There's probably some new listeners for I guess it's like our season preview podcast. But I'm your host, Jared Kalmus. Adrian, thank you as always for joining me.
What's good? What is up? Yes, no, it is very much the season preview podcast, the official Alamodome Audible season preview podcast. It is here. This is it. Yeah, we could be a little more formal with the first and last, I think.
We got to shout out our social media and all that stuff, I guess. Yeah.
The ads at the end of the episode. Yeah. What up?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of Cougar fans are going to listen to this. We are mixing it up a little bit on our season preview podcast this year. We typically do like position by position breakdowns and superlatives and all this stuff. But to be honest, we have blog content previewing every position. We have 2 more coming out this week to wrap things up. Mm-hmm. And we've done like several like season preview podcasts as like guests on other podcasts that we link to on our website. So like, I don't see the need to like rehash all that stuff, you know? So I was like, why don't we do something that we haven't done on any of the guest episodes? And that's do a full schedule preview game by game.
That. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, why regurgitate the same content on different mediums? You know, we can give it all to you, right? And give it to you in different ways. So I love that.
Yeah, great time to shout out on alamodomeaudible.com. We actually have a whole page dedicated to the 2022 season preview content that we've done going back, you know, even to the middle of the summer. We've got stuff linked on there. So be sure to check that out. There's like a big banner on the website. It's in the menu. So we got all our stuff there. This episode will be there as well.
Can't miss it. Yeah. No, excellent. Yeah. I mean, all of your season preview need to know, it's all there on the website, baby. And it's all sectioned up for you. And now it's time to do it. I mean, kickoff is in a matter of days. Like literally, it's like 8 days away by the time
Are you ready?
Listening to this. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't think anyone is.
I don't think I'm mentally. No, I don't think anyone is either. I don't feel like I'm mentally ready. I don't feel like I'm physically ready. Spiritually, maybe, sure. But no, man. I mean, it just seems like it's come up so fast. It was like just the other day we were hoisting the conference championship trophy right over our heads and the confetti was falling and it's like, boom, turn around. Here we are.
Yeah. Life has been so insanely hectic for me. Like the past couple of weeks, work has been super busy, but I'm also trying to close on a house and I've got wedding planning going on too. So, and you know, it's not to say that football's not been on my mind, but I'm juggling a lot right now. I need to get locked in, man. I need someone to grab me by the face mask and shake my helmet around. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's usually what happens. You know, you make that 3-hour trek from H-Town and you put in those 200 miles, dude. And then right there, you see the steeples, the 4 steeples of the Alamodome on the horizon as you get into downtown, and that energy starts surging through you. The second you see those freaking steeples, those sails, what do you hang a sail from on a boat? What is that called? A mast?
The mast?
The masts of the Alamodome. Yeah, dude, those get me freaking amped. And I think I speak for a lot of UTSA fans. For some reason, when you see them, you see the stadium, all that electricity starts coming through you.
For me, it's when I'm driving in on I-10 and you can see the Tower of Americas way out in the far landscape.
Okay.
To me, I was like, okay, I'm back.
I think it depends on which way you're going into town too, right? Because some people take the 1604 exit. So like me, I'll take the 1604 exit to go to Theo's house, right? And when you exit 1604, like you exit and you turn right on 1604 and like you go up for maybe 200 yards and then all of a sudden you get to the top of the incline and it just drops down and it's like your first proper dose of hill country Texas. It's like it's a sweeping landscape and you can see for miles and miles and miles in the hills and it's like, oh yes, now I'm in Bexar County, baby. Now I'm in SA, and it feels so good. I know that feeling you're talking about. But the stadium, man, the mass of the Alamodome, that's what really gets me in football mode. 100%.
Yeah, well said. So I guess, speaking of the beginning of the season, last week I had a crazy Friday putting together like 58 merch packages to send out to our Patreon subscribers. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's always a big pain in the ass, straight up. Sorry to say the word ass on the pod, on the public pod. We try to keep our cussing behind the paywall on Patreon. Yeah. But no, it sucks. It's a lot of work.
It's tedious.
It's like once I finally pull up to the post office and I drop all that stuff off, it's a good feeling. And then a couple days later, start seeing people posting on social media and all of that. So if you're a big money donor tier or a board of trustees tier, do know that your shipment's a little bit delayed, unfortunately. FedEx had a 1 week delay for some packaging stuff. Like, I don't really know how that happened, but I'll for sure make sure they get into the mail tomorrow. So you guys should have all of your stuff for game week next week, which is really exciting. Can't wait for you guys to see the nice little surprise we put together for you guys.
Always point the finger at the mailman for sure. Because it's
it's not the mailman. I've got no beef with the USPS. Let's keep the record straight here.
That's right.
FedEx was the one that dropped the ball here.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I can't remember what the occasion was, but we were big USPS championers here on the podcast once upon a time. Do you remember that?
I don't. I'm not surprised. But
it may have been a mailing sort of situation for Patreon.
No, my only beef with the USPS is that the postal office in my neighborhood closes at 4:00 every day.
That's outrageous.
And, I'm a working man. How am I going to get over there with my work schedule? Maybe I could get lucky and I've got 20 minutes at lunchtime that I can spare.
Sneak away. Yeah.
Right. But that's my only beef with the USPS. What? I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. Well, last off topic, people are going to think I'm drunk when they listen to this. I had taco palenque for the first time today.
Man,
that stuff was good.
Oh baby.
Every interview that Runners Rising has done with an athlete for an NIL deal, like Eddie or whoever's running the interview always asks, like, what's your go-to place for tacos? And every student athlete has said taco palenque, to the point where I was like, is this like a shadow NIL campaign where taco palenque silently paid off like all of UTSA athletics? But man, it was just good. It was reasonably priced. It was very fast.
Dude.
And ultimately, my summary of it was that was what Taco Cabana used to be back in the day.
Oh, shit. Man, I was not ready for the freaking TP segment today. Oh my gosh. That makes me so excited. Welcome to the club, sir. I remember when they built the TP by campus. It was after my time. We graduated and we went on and left. And then the following year, the TPs was there. And I remember everyone, I want to say, is it West Texas that is popular? Or is it RGV? It's West Texas, I think. Or Laredo or something. I don't know. There was yeah.
I think it's from Laredo.
There's a faction. Yeah, I think it's Laredo. There's a faction of UTSA students. I want to say it was Laredo kids that were all juiced about it. They were pumping it up. And I can't remember what the occasion was. It was probably after a football game, after graduation. We went late night and it was same experience, right? It was quick. Everybody was there. Half of the campus was there. And I think what I was most impressed with was portion. I mean, you're getting hooked up at Taco Palenque, dude. I mean, it's like that fine line between taco and burrito. They really juice those tacos up to where they're jam-packed. And the nachos there, excellent. So, dude, yes, man, maybe Houston weekend. We might have to make a stop at TP's, bro. That's awesome.
Well, hopefully we close on this house, and once, the house is in presentable order, you can come on down. Maybe we'll record a podcast, in my new office, and then we'll hit up the Taco Palenque down the street,
Yeah, I'll be honest. I had no idea we had one in Houston. This is my first time hearing about it.
I just saw it. It's in Gulf Gate, so it's not the best place to visit, but it's there.
That's amazing. Wow. Yeah, shout out to Taco Palenque, man.
I promise we're going to talk UTSA football very soon. But before we do that, I want to shout out all of our new Patreon donors. We've got a nice little influx past couple of weeks as people gear up for football season. And big shout out to everyone that re-upped their subscription as well. We've got a lot of returning subscribers. So thank you guys for that. But special shout out to our new donors at the Insider tier. That includes Isaac Levy, Abram Harris, and Thomas Patton, as well as a new donor in the Booster tier, Baesong Inu. So thank you guys so much. Great time to sign up for Patreon. A lot of great content.
Indeed it is. And there's a whole lot more coming as we enter the season. Can't go wrong.
I guess the next piece of exclusive content, we have the position previews that are coming out next couple of days, but we're also doing the first summit that we've had in a while. If you guys are new to the podcast, the summit is our monthly-ish virtual happy hour that we do on Zoom. Just get all the booster tier and higher Patreon subscribers together on a Zoom, kind of open forum, right? Little mailbag, little Q&A action. We've had some special guests come on sometimes. I think the next one is just going to keep it, real conversational football. And then we'll record those and we'll post them for all the Patreon subscribers. But great perk. We're doing one next week. What's it on Wednesday? I think Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central.
Yes, I believe you're right. That would be Wednesday, August 31st, 8 p.m. Central. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So tune into that if you guys are Patreon subscribers. Looking forward to chatting with you all. Also want to give a big shout out to the Bunch family who increased from the booster tier to the big money donor tier. Thank you to Chris and Sarah, especially for the sweet note you guys left us in the direct messages. It was very kind of you all.
Awesome.
And shout out to our other big money donors, Ben Tovar, Rick Cortez of Rowdy Road Grillers. The Board of Trustees members include Digitique, John Albo, Lino Perez of Los Tools Rowdy Tailgating, and Gary and Ruben representing the UTSA Bird Gang Tailgate. Can't wait to make all of the tailgate rounds next weekend.
Oh, man. I cannot freaking wait. I can't wait. Whew. Nervous.
Can we fit one more announcement in? I feel like we're way overkilling it. Maybe we should save it to the end.
No, you can say it. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and knock it out.
Well, we're starting our football Saturdays off this year by being, special guests, I guess you could say, at the Alumni Association tailgate. New location this year. Great location. Right across the street from Sunset Station, or what was once called Sunset Station. We're going to do a little, college game day, Saturday morning kind of setup.
Yes. The Alamo Dome Audible podcast will be live at the UTSA Alumni Association tailgate in front of the masts of the Alamo Dome on the freaking staff. I mean, dude, it's going to be epic. We need you to bring your signs, your best UTSA signs, your best U of H signs, your best UNT sucks signs. Bring them all out. It's college game day style with Alamo Dome Audible at the UTSA Alumni Association, officially sanctioned, baby. We're here. It's massive. It's going to be epic. And I know the people have been pounding the table for live Alamo Dome Audible show. It's here. So yes, come out to the Alumni Association tailgate and see the show, man. We're extremely excited about it. And can't thank the Alumni Association enough for making it happen for us.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, so more details pending on that. We'll get some posts out there on social media and stuff, but did just want to start throwing that out there. But yeah, without further ado, let's before we break down the schedule, let's talk about one of my favorite days of the year. That's the release of the single digit numbers for the Triangle of Toughness.
One of the most important days of fall camp of the year for this roster, for this football team. As of the last 3 seasons, single digit day is a day of high prestige, high honor, high recognition, and awarded, right? And so this is the players' choice of who are the best guys on the team, not just the best, but the best character and the best on the football field, right? Best leadership qualities. And it's so freaking cool, this tradition that Trailers managed to like really make a staple of the culture in such a short amount of time. And I'm totally in agreement with you, man. It's super excited for this to come out. And yeah, we got some new names on it this year.
Yeah, we did. And it was also, I thought, nice to see that none of the guys that were in the Triangle of Toughness last year, they didn't lose their spots.
That's right.
Because I was always like, man, that could be really awkward if a guy, got arrested over the offseason or hasn't been going to voluntary workouts or something to get bumped out of the Triangle.
Yeah.
So good to see that's not been an issue. Hopefully it never will be.
Yeah. So I believe There were 10 single-digit players on the roster last year that have now returned still with their single-digit honor, and then 10 new names that were added to the single-digit list as well. So very cool. Very cool. Where should we start?
I guess we got to start with the 210 numbers.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. For those that don't know, it's a huge honor to be voted by, your teammates and your coaches into a single digit number. But the ultimate honor is to get into that 210, right? So the zeros repeats from last year: Frank Harris, Rashad Wisdom. No shock, no surprise there, right? It'd be concerning if they didn't run it back with those numbers.
That's right.
And I was joking last year, like they've got NIL concerns now. They got number 0 on their NIL merch. So you can't be losing that, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Now you're messing with their paycheck if you lose that 0, my boy. Yeah, you know what? That's happened. This is actually the 3rd consecutive season that those two have gone
that's
to
good
0.
Point. Yeah, I forgot about that.
3 years in a row now. Wisdom and Harris rocking the sub-0. Very cool.
That's awesome. I think Frank is still like the most notable number 0 quarterback in college football history.
I think Frank is the most notable number 0 in college football history.
Maybe, dude, it's so rare.
It's extremely rare, and the guy is totally taken off. He's got himself a little cult following now at this point. I'd say, yeah,
much deserved. Moving into the number 1s, we got 2. Is it 2 new additions? I don't think was Harmonson on it last year.
I don't think he was seen. I don't think he was.
Hold on, I have last year's list. Let me pull it up.
So the new names were Clark, Mayfield, Matterson, Chapman, Dean, Machuku, Brown, Cardenas, Haynes, and Davis.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, so Harmonson had it, but I don't think he was 210.
So Harmonson was voted into the single digit group last year, but he elected to stay at number 15. I can't remember. There was some personal connection.
I remember that. Yep. It was a personal connection to it.
Yeah. So cool to see him moving into 210. He seems a bit like, a very silent, like lead by example type of guy. Obviously very well respected. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely so. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. The ones last year would have been Jalen Haynes and Leroy Watson. Oh, wow. Yeah, look at that. So
those are some big dudes wearing number 1.
Dude, holy cow, it is. Yeah.
You're talking about nearly 600 pounds of beef and a very slim number on their chest. That's kind of funny.
Well, it's cool to see that if he had a sentimental attachment to a different number in years prior, that now the sentimental value of being single digit has actually overcome that to him.
Yeah.
That the UTSA culture has grown that strong. That's kind of cool, right?
Agreed. Yeah. Then joining him on the offensive side of the ball, number 1 is DeCorian JT Clark.
Yes, sir. Of course.
I think I heard Coach Traylor say in media availability today that was one of the guys he was most proud of because, he's a senior and JT's been around for a while, obviously. Took him some time to work his way into that triangle of toughness, even though he'd been a great player for UTSA for 2 years now, right? So I'm really thrilled to see him move into the 210 group. I think he's certainly worked for it and certainly earned it.
Yeah, he has.
I think it's time for the nation to learn who JT is, man. He's going to have a massive year.
Oh, he's going to have a massive year. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And he's not the only guy in that position group to be donned with a 210 number, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And so you look at my boy from Spring, Texas, Caney High School, Josh Cephas, the other big hands man, a part of the 210 University of Hands at San Antonio. And dude, yeah, I mean, this duo right here is going to be absolutely magnificent all year long. And I mean, Frank, he's got so many options to throw the football to, man. It's just amazing. So I think you're going to see these particular 3-2-1-0, they're going to be lighting up the field. They're going to be all over the place. The area code is going to be all over the offense. Yeah,
no doubt. And then wrapping up the 2-1-0 triangle of toughness is defensive selection, Corey Mayfield Jr. So another guy who's been around the program for a long time. I actually just realized like this week that Mayfield is technically a 4-year starter at UTSA.
Wow.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, it was cool. They put that video out of Coach Traylor calling the guys and letting them know that they've been voted into the triangle. And Corey's reaction was really cool. Like, you could really tell that it meant a lot to him.
It meant a lot to him.
A lot of the other guys expected it because maybe they'd been there before or they had just established themselves so much. I think Mayfield, he was still fighting for his job, right? Like, there were so many transfers and top recruits coming in at cornerback,
And the guy's had a hell of a playing career through his years here. I mean, look, this is a back-to-back honorable mention all conference player here. And he's played in every single game over the last 3 seasons, probably. And I mean, the dude has just had an incredible body of work, but he's also been a hell of a factor on defense. So it's much deserved for him, man. It really is. And so I think he's going to be tremendous, probably the leader at that cornerback unit.
We'll roll through the rest of these selections real quick. We got number 3, Brandon Matterson, big old 6'2", 290-pound defensive lineman, sporting the number 3. Love it. Another local product from Brandeis. We got 2 Brandeis guys.
Yeah.
And the triangle toughness. That's pretty cool. But I don't know, maybe a bit of surprise this one. Clifford Chapman, number 4, safety.
For sure. I think that was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, I think that probably means he's starting, right? If he's going to get number 4.
No doubt. Yeah, I think it's fair to say anyone with a single digit is going to be starting.
Yeah. A&M transfer, called the injury bug last year, set out most of the year. I can't remember if he got a red shirt off that or not. But it looks like he's making a big stride.
Yeah, he did.
Super high ceiling. Of course, number 4, Zachary Franklin. To me, that number 4 is always going to be associated with Zachary for a long time.
For sure.
I have a hard time imagining anyone else wearing that jersey at this point.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Program record holder, so many ways.
Funny that you say that. Yeah, for sure. For sure. It is. It's definitely associated with him, that Franklin at 4.
Yeah. Brendan Brady, running it back at number 5. I think I heard Coach Traylor say that Brady might have had enough votes to get into the 210, but wanted to stick with number 5.
I love
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. Lucas Dean, also number 5 at punter. I guess that means that Brady can't be on punt team. Keep an eye on that. I think in 2020, I think UTSA did slip up and had the same number out early in the year because
I think it may have happened. Yeah.
They changed their number. You don't think twice about it. It's a very easy mistake to make.
A big shout out to Lucas Dean, man. He's been here punting the hell out of the ball.
Oh yeah.
And also a holder. He's been fantastic and he's really put in the work and gained the respect of his teammates to get that single digit vote for a senior campaign. I love that. I was pumped to see Lucas Dean's name on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really cool that the whole team seems to value special teams because Duplessis was single digit as well last year, right?
Yes. And Dean was holding for him through all of those makes. So, dude, I'm telling you, yeah, I do like that it's got the respect. The special teams get the respect that they deserve here at UTSA, man. And if you guys have never heard it or if you've just now been turned on to the podcast, we had the absolute pleasure of doing an interview with Lucas Dean's parents, Warren and Margaret Dean, all the way down under in Western Australia. He comes from a long line. He's actually the 3rd generation of football players, Australian rules football, that is. He's the first one to come overseas and play the American version of the sport. But it's fantastic to hear about the football background. We've unlocked it, put it on the Facebook. There's a podcast episode and a blog post to go in there and check out, man. It's the coolest thing, this guy's family history.
Yeah, I think we actually have it pinned on the front page of the website, but you can always just search for Lucas Dean or really any player and find all the stuff we've done on the website. It
is pinned on our unlocked Patreon post section. Yes, check that out.
Mm-hmm. So moving along with the single digit numbers, we've got one number 6 this year. That's Kelechi Iwachukwu. And, he's really a vet on this team as a redshirt senior, but I don't know about you. To me, like, it feels like he should be way younger. Like, time has just flown by.
Yeah.
I was looking at that like, what? He's a redshirt senior? Like, that's crazy.
Now, were you surprised at all to see his name get the single digit nod?
A little bit. Yeah.
I'll say slightly. I won't say I was like totally wow, but I did kind of raise. I was like, oh. But a good surprise. I was like, oh, well, that's good.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Like he's getting he's got his respect on the team. He's definitely put in his miles with the squad. And he's one of those guys that's improved, not just year over year, but I think week by week, you see Kalichi making progress. I know we've critiqued a couple of plays of his before, but he's always been a big time contributor. And so I'm glad to see him get that nod.
So it's funny that you say that because I literally have his Pro Football Focus profile. That was hard to say. Pulled up right in front of me because I'm writing the safeties position unit right now. And I was looking at his weekly grades last season, and his tackling grades were terrible beginning of the year. He had from 0 to 100, he had a 27.4, 39.4. Middle Tennessee did pretty well, 77.8, and then a 22.8 against Memphis, which is just god awful. After that, rest of the season, 78, 83, 78, 78, 81, 78, 81. Wow. So this is a guy that saw an issue in his game, got critiqued for it, turned it around down the stretch, completely corrected those flaws.
Wow.
And I think his overall play also improved throughout the rest of the season as well, as you mentioned. So very smart guy. I think he's a cybersecurity major. So that's awesome as a, fellow cybersecurity professional. Great to see.
And I think that's one of those things that kind of illustrates the attributes that the single digit guys have, right? One of them being coachability, right? And so here's a guy who's able to make adjustments to his game, be able to be open to that criticism, and then also be able to use that criticism and learn from it and make those changes in the middle of the season. I mean, that's highly commendable. And I tell you, I mean, you could see it with the naked eye, you could see the improvement week over week for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Next up at the number 7, we got Dadrian Taylor running it back again. Number 7 from last year.
Yes, sir.
Man, what more can we say about this guy that hasn't been said? I mean, he's just very much heartbeat of the defense. I think he brings a lot of personality to that defense. You always see him in the little practice videos, giving his little motivational speeches. On that point, I was also surprised to see Cyrus Simon not get into it because he's always in those videos talking about elevate, motivate. But I think he's up next. I think he's up next for sure next year.
Yeah, but
we'll see how he plays this year.
At this point, Dadrian Taylor is just Mr. Automatic, right?
Yeah.
I mean, always money. The dude's a machine.
Mm-hmm. Number 8, Jamal Ligon. Was he? Yeah, he was number 8 last year as well.
Yeah, he was number 8 last year.
Yeah, another guy, just complete worksman, comes in, gets his job done, executes well, leader on the defense. Sounds like he's going to play 2 positions this year, inside and outside. So showing a lot of flexibility, sacrificing to do what's right for the team. Love it, love it, love it. Number 9, defensive line. Rare to see a sophomore voted into the single digits.
Wow.
But Brandon Brown is that kind of guy, man. He's a very, very special athlete. I'm very certain he's got NFL future in front of him. Very hard worker, very serious guy. Seems like he doesn't cut up too much. So definitely a leader. And I'm still surprised to see he's only a sophomore because he feels like such a vet. He's like such a mature presence to him from everything that I've seen.
Dude, I mean, we talk about the guys who have sported the same single digit for 3 years in a row now. When we look at those top 210 digit players, and those guys came in at a time where the roster was extremely young and it was trying to figure itself out. And they were able to get those single digit nods and hold on to them. But this is a guy that's earning it as a sophomore on a vet laden team, man. I mean, everyone on here is an upperclassman. And for him to be such a high impact player already, to get that nod, dude, I mean, that just goes to show you to be on high alert for what this kid's going to do, man. Yeah.
No kidding. Joining him at number 9 on the offense is Oscar Cardenas. I mean, man, this guy's like UTC legend at this point.
Yeah, yes.
Based on that UAB catch.
A folk hero by all regard. Yes, dude, the man that won the West himself. Yes. You give him that number 9, damn it. You give it to him. He deserves it, man. Legend, local legend. Yes.
Yeah. No, so that there's a guy on offense and defense that can wear a single number. There were several numbers that didn't have offense and defense represented. That's because 4 offensive linemen were voted in. Obviously, offensive linemen cannot wear single-digit numbers due to the rules of the game.
Right.
But those 4 guys include Aho Pitumaka, who is voted in for the second time, I believe. Terrell Haynes was voted in for the first time. Kevin Davis, I think, was voted in for the first time. And Mekhi Hart, repeat selection as well. So probably 4 of the 5 starting offensive linemen right there. Great to see.
This is by far the largest collection, the largest percentage of trench players, of linemen that have been on the single digit list, correct?
I think you're right. Yeah. I don't have the 2020 list in front of me, but there were 3 last year because Buford, Hart, and Maka.
4?
4.
Yeah. That's sweet.
Got to be led by the big man.
That's right, man. That's where the game's won, where the game's lost, right there. Love it.
All right, well, let's take a quick Cumbia break. When we come back, we'll start going through UTSA's 2020 schedule week by week, game by game. Let's give you guys a little bit of a hint as to what to look forward to. We're not doing full previews. We're just more talking about, what kind of opponent is this going to be? How difficult is this game going to be? What kind of road trips is this going to be? All right. Loosen up those hips. We'll see you guys back in a couple seconds. All right, guys, welcome back. Hope you all enjoyed your Cumbia break. And, it's getting real. It's getting real. It's time to go in. We're going to look at each opponent on the schedule. And then next week, we're previewing the Cougars. We already got our guest appearances lined up. Ready to roll.
Yes.
So, obviously, we're not going to go into the nitty-gritty X's and O's of Houston. This is a big freaking game. This is a really, really big game. I think Houston's coming in ranked, 24 or 22, something like that?
Yeah, they should be. They should have that preseason ranking. I think they will.
I don't know the casual fan understands how good this Houston team is.
They don't. They have absolutely no idea. I'll also say that the casual U of H fan has no idea how good this UTSA team is.
That's very true.
But every UTSA fan is just all giddy and excited to go to DKR or go to Austin for the weekend. Yay, Bert Horn, horns down, do. Who cares? It's not important. U of H is important. This is the most important out-of-conference game on the schedule. It is by far the toughest opponent on the out-of-conference schedule. This is the game that is circle, highlight, starred next to. This is the one, man. This Cougars team is so freaking good. Yeah, I mean, you could very well argue that this game is between, two of the best G5 teams, if not the best G5 teams in the country last year, right? At least 2 top 5 G5 teams in the country. And so this is absolutely a clash of titans, so to speak, I think you could say.
Yeah, not only that, I think it's going to be one of the best group of 5 games of the year. Houston's still in the G5 for one more season, so it counts.
Yes.
And that I think the main thing is the atmosphere in the Alamodome is going to be so electric. I don't think the ticket sales have gone as quickly as I thought they would. Prices are pretty high. I think that has a bit to do with it. I think cheapest tickets like $30, right?
Man, I remember being a Segway tour guide in downtown San Antonio the first time that U of H came to town. And dude, oh my gosh, I remember being on a tour, and I guess that the first time it came would have been 2013. So we're still very, very young. We only played U of H twice. And dude, downtown San Antonio was filled with cars that had little U of H flags flying off the window and U of H bumper stickers. And I remember being in the Alamodome, the consensus of Cougar fans was huge, man. I mean, it was big. And this is back in the days when the Alamodome was still filling up pretty regularly all the time. We were winning ball games and they were out there deep, bro. They had a good quarter to a third, I think, of the percentage of the fans in there. And yeah, man. And it got hairy. It got a little chippy in there. It was a heck of a lot of fun. And they kicked our butts 59-28. And then we came back out to open up the very following season with, everyone remembers, the upset at their inaugural game of their new stadium, the grand opening of TD UTSA Stadium. And Dude, I mean, I know no one on this team has any relation to that team. Same with the Cougars, but gosh, I mean, the university, the program, the fans, they still got a bad taste in their mouth from that, don't they?
I heard a lot of people had some pretty like negative encounters with U of H fans back in that TD ECU opening. So I think that like, I think you could get a little heated on the fan side. Like there's already been some chatter on Twitter or whatever. I don't know if UH fans get real pumped up for UTSA as an opponent, but I think they will travel really well to the Alamo Dome. I'm sure they have a ton of alumni in San Antonio. They have a campus right down the road from the Alamo Dome. So,
it's funny that you say that. I don't think U of H fan gets super excited for UTSA, but I do remember UTSA fan getting so excited to play U of H.
And, of course, yeah.
Yeah, and this year, I don't know if maybe it's because UT is on the schedule, but man, I mean, we need to be freaking pumped to play U of H, and it needs to start settling in, people. It needs to start settling in because this game is massive, it's huge, and U of H is not going to come in with any sort of nonsense. It's going to be a battle, dude. It's going to be an absolute battle. This is one of those games that we're going to walk out of there and like you're going to be exhausted.
Yeah,
from the fans, from all of the fanning.
I think fans on both sides are going to sweat a little bit throughout that game.
There's going to be emotion. There's going to be an emotional roller coaster that happens in there for sure, man. Yeah.
Oh man, I hope we get another situation where Houston just doesn't seem to understand how loud it gets in Alamo Dome. You remember like that UNLV game where Marcus Arroyo was like,
"No,
should I be concerned?
Should we be?
The crowd noise?" Then they had like 7 false starts or whatever.
Yeah,
the crowd is going to be rabid, right? And they're going to travel well. I think both sides are going to amp each other up, and they're going to get loud too. So yeah, it's going to be a raucous atmosphere. I'm very excited.
It will. No, I think a lot of people discount that Alamo Dome noise, especially if you haven't been in that stadium in 9 years, like U of H. So, dude, it's going to be spicy. It's going to be hot. Get out there for the pregame, see the live Alamo Dome Audible show. Let's get in there. Let's get loud, baby. It's it. This is it. Whew. Yeah, that was big.
First road trip of the year for UTSA is a very tough one. Traveling to West Point, New York to play Army. What's the furthest road trip UTSA has had since this, like before this one?
Oh gosh. Jeez,
I mean, I think
when was the last time we left Texas?
Yeah, the furthest I can think of under trailer was probably going to BYU. I guess Western Kentucky's pretty far too. Neither of them are anywhere close to as far of a trip to Army. I mean, that's a haul.
Man, dude.
Because it's upstate New York. It's not even like going to New York City. It's like
you gotta go to West Point.
2 hours. Yeah.
Do we like our chances against U of H more than we like our chances against Army?
No. I wouldn't say that. I'm super high on Houston. But...
Right. But this has been the case before. This has been the case in the past where the Army team has not been the toughest opponent on the schedule, but they have been the hardest team to play on the schedule. You know what I mean? And so for those that aren't super familiar with the Army style, why is that, Jared? Why is this team so difficult to play, so frustrating to play against?
Well, they've run triple option offense, right? Yeah. So you're not going to spend your whole offseason preparing for one team's weird offense of running the triple option. So a lot of times you got to cram a crazy amount of game prep into a single week for this really weird offense that you're never going to see again. You'll typically have to make some personnel adjustments, which is always one of my favorite things to do when you plays Army is kind of guess what guys are going to move around where. Like we'll probably see a 5-man defensive front for UTSA against Army if I had to guess. I remember a couple years ago they put I think they moved Martell from safety to linebacker. I think he ended up sticking there. So I mean it's a completely different offense than what you're going to see from any other team on the roster, right? So you really never know how a team's going to react to that. And not only from a schematic standpoint, but there's just an incredibly physical football team too. They're going to be highly disciplined. Yes. They're going to hit you hard. They're not going to make silly mistakes for the most part. And they're just they're just a tough team to beat year in and year out.
They're very difficult. They're super disciplined. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They play very hard-nosed football. I mean, you're talking about 100% effort on every single play. The dudes hit hard. And schematically, it sucks. I mean, it just sucks to play against them. And it's hard to watch, man. I mean, it's painful. They're just going to be running it and running it and running it and just keep moving the chains. And it's going to be hard. And then, you know, we've got that high-flying offense, so we should be able to, you know, keep pace with them or put some points on the board. But, you know, Army can be just as punishing on defense as they are with their triple option on offense. So, yeah, man, just a good team. A good football team and a hard one to beat. Always is.
Yeah, they did have some shootouts last year. They took Wake Forest to the wire. That one was 56-70.
Yeah, that's true. So they can get out there with you.
Yep. They got some horses as well.
And then after running the gauntlet that is U of H and Army, finally UTSA gets a bit of a breather the next week, man. Going to DKR in Austin, Texas for the first time to see big brother UT Austin. Oh, baby. What is going to happen inside of DKR Stadium? Now, I'm not even talking about on the field. I'm talking about inside the stadium. Oh my gosh, that place is going to be such a madhouse. I'm so concerned that UTSA fan is not going to know how to behave as a visitor in a guest's home, in a host's home, as a guest and I just, oh my goodness, those UTSA chants are going to cause some trouble.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be well received, right? The Longhorns have hosted UTEP plenty of times, but I don't think they've ever hosted a UTEP team coming off of a 12-win season. Now, imagine how UTSA fans are going to act if UTSA beats Houston, they beat Army, and then Texas beats Alabama the week before. Both teams come in ranked. It gets bumped from Longhorn Network to ESPNU or something like that.
God, stop it.
I mean, there's a real chance that can happen.
It's totally true. It's totally possible. Yes.
But how just like typical Longhorn would it be to beat Alabama, beat Nick Saban? Quinn Ewers is anointed as the savior of UT football. And then they go and they hit 6th Street and they're doing NIL deals every day. They're not watching film on UTSA. And then they come out and lose to UTSA the next week.
Gosh, bro, that would be so freaking.
Wasn't there one year that like UT beat Notre Dame and everyone was like, oh my God, UT's back. And they like lost to Maryland the next week?
It was the season opener against Notre Dame. I was watching it at the Little Woodrow's on 1604. The place was a madhouse that night. And oh my gosh, the very next week, that was like the first Texas is back debacle.
I don't know if it was the first, but I think it was the most notable for sure.
The most notable. But and then it just seems to just keep happening.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it's very, very well plausible. And I don't think UTEP has a UTEP chant that they scream at the top of their lungs when they're in DKR. I don't think they have like a form of disrespect that they usher whenever they're the visiting team.
Well,
like
I doubt like 4,000 UTEP fans ever traveled to DKR. I think UTSA pulls 4K into DKR pretty easy this year.
Oh my gosh, I would say it might even be more than that.
Yeah, it could be.
And the UTSA chant, man, it's very antagonizing. And the fact that we're doing it at UT, it even more so. And so, yeah, it's going to be a wild day. I don't think it's going to be well received either, Jared. I think you've got a good point there. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun.
There's no outcome that would be unprecedented because on the other side of the coin, you think back to last season, no one expected much out of UT at all. They weren't a great team last year. And then Louisiana Lafayette coming off an amazing year. They won 12 games the year before under Billy Napier. Everyone's picking them to pull the G5 or the P5 upset. And they kind of got stomped around by the Longhorns. They lost by 2 or 3 scores, right? That game was not very competitive. I was very hyped up for that game, and it did not deliver. And that was a really damn good ULL team, right?
Dude, I like this one. It's a Saturday night at 7 p.m. The juices are going to be flowing. People are going to be inebriated. I mean, dude, it's just got recipe for disaster written all over.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. I know. But here's my final summation of this game: is the Longhorns have the talent to beat any team in the country, but their culture is so bad that they could lose any team in the country.
Right.
So you never know who's going to show up with them.
Okay.
I'm not going to be surprised at any outcome.
Through the first 3 games on UTSA's schedule, is this the one that we like our chances the most? Is this the most winnable?
No, Army.
It's Army?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to throw the disrespect, that's all. Okay. Then we finally come back to the Alamo Dome for the Orange Out against TSU, Texas Southern University. And that is UTSA's gimme game of the out-of-conference schedule, the only one.
Yep, definitely. I don't know a whole lot about this team. I know their quarterback, though, Andrew Bodie. Very special player at a Corbin Christie Miller. I was really surprised to see him not end up somewhere at the FBS level. I'm not sure if he had offers or not at that FBS level, but he's very special. He was a true freshman starter for them last year. Played in 5 games and had a pretty decent showing. So he's definitely the one to watch there. Probably their most talented player. But
wow.
Yeah, not a very strong program. I would be surprised if they keep it too competitive with UTSA. They lost to Baylor 66-7 last year. Hey, they gave Rice a fight though. I forgot about that one.
True. Yeah, I do remember that.
Well, so I don't have a whole lot to share on Texas Southern. I haven't really watched them much other than a little bit of that Rice game and having seen Bodie play in high school. But
that's okay.
It'd be pretty shocking if UTSA doesn't have this one locked up at halftime.
Well, and that'll finally round out our out-of-conference schedule before we get started into CUSA play the very last weekend of September at Middle Tennessee.
Can I say that people are sleeping on this game?
Yeah, I'm probably in that group.
I'm not picking Middle Tennessee to go out and win the conference or anything. I'm not even saying they should be favored in the majority of their conference games, but I think they're a strong middle-of-the-pack team that can score points. And they've always given UTSA a pretty good fight, right?
You're saying they're going to surprise some people.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, they're solid. They're solid. I mean, I think people are just saying like, oh, if it's not UAB or Western Kentucky, it's a gimme game at conference, which I think is misplaced. Which
isn't true. I think maybe the last year or 2 years that could be made for a lot of teams, but you think of a team like Middle Tennessee that's been kind of lower tier. I want to say bottom of the pack, but lower tier for so many years now that they have been getting better behind the scenes. They have been progressing, right? And so, it's only now time for their cycle to come back around and for them to start kind of climbing back up again and getting back into the middle pack and then even up above that. So, no, I think that's fair. I think it's totally fair that
this is going to mature for most of the teams we're going to talk about for the rest of this podcast, but I think Middle Tennessee's starters are good enough to hang with UTSA and give them a game. But UTSA needs to force them into their bench and into their depth. And I think that's where UTSA is really going to shine through. But I mean, don't expect this game to not be a 4-quarter contest. It's a Friday night game on CBS Sports. So, those midweek games can get a little weird sometimes.
No, and I think it's totally fair to say a lot of Conference USA is better than they were last year. Just in general.
Yeah, I think so.
And let's not forget, there were 6 games last year that were decided by 1 possession.
Yeah.
6.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we only beat Middle Tennessee by 2 touchdowns last season. And then
next,
we'll have the repeat of the Conference USA championship game. WKU is going to be back in the Alamo Dome, baby.
Yeah. Western Kentucky's going to be a super fascinating team this year, as they are most years.
Very different version than we last saw.
Lose the whole offense. They lose most of the coaching staff.
Some of the staff.
They got a P5 former starter transfer that ended up not winning the job, and an FCS transfer ended up winning it. Who, man, I saw some of his film from the FCS. He played it in the D2 championship game. Then I think he transferred to SCS and then to Western Kentucky. I might have that wrong. But he's talented, man. He's got a really live arm. So I had kind of been dismissing Western Kentucky, to be completely honest with you. But after seeing what new quarterback can do. I was like, I'm not saying he's Bailey Zappi 2.0. I've seen some people saying that. That's a big stretch, but they're going to be competitive for sure.
Okay.
But I think UTSA at home should win this one pretty easily. But to beat a team, they always say it's hard to beat a team twice in 1 year. To beat a team 3 times in, what would that be, like 16 months or something like that?
Wow.
The challenge.
Yeah. No, because I think, well, no, I'm sorry, I have 2020. Yeah, it was October. Yeah, we played them in October last year, October 9th. So it was October. That's 11 months, bro. Or no, it'll be 12 months to the day almost, October 9th to October 8th. It'll be 364
so 3 games
days.
in 12 months.
Yeah.
Man,
yeah.
Dude.
That'd be crazy. And then for 2 of them to happen at home, yeah. Yep. Dude, yeah, that's crazy. And then we've got one more Easter. Well, no, that's not true because there's no divisions.
Yeah, we need to talk about that. Yeah,
we didn't mention that. Yeah, no. So
I think typically I mentioned it on a podcast in the summertime, but I know not everyone listens throughout the all season. I totally get it.
And I think we kind of said it in passing. It's not something we really like spoke about as a whole segment yet. But typically looking at Middle Tennessee, Western Kentucky, and the next opponent we're going to talk about, FIU, that those would be Eastern Division opponents. Not the case this year, folks. Amidst conference realignment and all the shakeups and the early departures of a few of our previous comrades, there is a divisionless conference USA this season.
Right. Yeah. And I made this point. We were on the Alumni Association Birds Up podcast recently. I think that will release on Friday, August. Oh God, I guess when you listen to this, it might be the same day.
26 tomorrow.
Yeah. Double the Alumni Audible goods for you.
That's a good weekend right there, baby.
Yeah, it is. You can listen while you're mowing the lawn, you come back and oh look, UNT and UTEP are playing on Stadium or whatever, and you can listen to us while you're watching the game.
Right.
But no, yeah. So I made the point that look, UTSA can drop a game to UAB, Western Kentucky, meet up with them again in the conference championship. It's not a winner take all scenario early in the conference schedule.
Right. Because it's not one of those situations where we lose the West and now we can't. Right.
Yeah, because look, let's be honest, dude. Everyone watched that UAB UTSA game. That was the real championship game. Western Kentucky put up a fight in the conference championship game. I'm not trying to take anything from that UAB team was way better.
And Conference USA has ran through the West for a couple of seasons in a row now, 3 or 4. And so it really truly has been a Western Division led conference, and that's where all the competition was happening. And so this really levels the playing field for all the heavy hitters, kind of.
Yeah. I think it benefits UTEP a lot too. I think UTEP's gonna be pretty competitive in the conference race this year. So I can totally see a scenario where UAB falls off a little bit. Western Kentucky obviously feels the loss of Bailey Zappi. I think UTEP could slide right in, right? And I can see them losing to UTSA and then facing them again in the conference championship game. So that would be fun.
My gosh, that would be the most amazing conference championship ever. If we had a all UT system conference championship game.
That would be great, dude.
For our final time playing our primos. Oh my gosh.
Especially if UTSA beats UT, and then it would be like the championship game for all the UT system.
Oh my gosh. Blowing my mind.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun to dream.
Oh my gosh. All right.
I'm gonna rein us back in because we're running long on time. We got a lot of games to get through.
True. So okay. We are in Party in the City where the heat is on, 305 Miami to go see FIU October 14th.
Another Friday night game.
Is this another one of those teams that's going to be a little bit better than they were last year, or is FIU still kind of that?
Dude, they could be a lot better than they were last year and still be terrible. They're not going to be anywhere near the scholarship limit this year. Wow. I don't know the actual number. I'd have to hit up our guy Eric Henry at Underdog Dynasty, who just absolutely kills coverage of FIU.
Yes.
But yeah, they're almost assuredly going to be a really bad team once again. Damn. Have you heard of any of your friends traveling to this game? I'm kind of surprised people aren't talking about this more.
No, man.
Last trip to Miami, Friday night.
Yeah, I get it. And I haven't had anyone talk about it. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just because it's not a super sexy matchup, but also I don't know if people, I don't know if people want to spend their time in Miami going to an FIU game.
That's 100% how I feel.
Like,
if I'm going to go to Miami,
wasting a day of your time in Miami,
dude. Exactly. and their campus is like really far from like South Beach.
Right. Exactly.
It's like 20 minutes, right? It's like going to the main campus if you're staying at the Riverwalk, right? So I think that does hurt the travel aspect on top of them being a bad team and having one of the worst game day experiences in college football at the FBS level.
It's hard, man.
That's harsh, but
it's a big chore.
True,
it's a big chore, though. It's a big chore to have to go out there. And you're like, man, I'm in Miami right now. I could be doing anything, and I'm at freaking FIU game.
Man, you can be like riding jet skis with DJ Khaled. I mean, who knows,
dude? Yeah, think about it. And if it was more proximate to other destinations in Miami, it'd be real easy to like go for a few quarters of the game, right? Or get there late, or even be at like a bar proximate to the stadium and watch it, right? But like still be on the scene or something. But yeah, it's hard whenever you got them on the other side of town. I think you bring a good parallel with our proximity to the Riverwalk. It really is like that. It's a little bit out of the way.
Yeah. Well, moving on, the homecoming game, huge game, big revenge game. It's a revenge game between these two teams every year. North Texas coming into the Alamo Dome, 2:30 p.m., October 22nd.
I hate them. I hate them so much.
I'm just like, dude, UNT is going to be good this year. Like, I think they're going to surpass a lot of people's expectations. I'm high on them. But I can't shake the feeling that Jeff Traylor's just going to obliterate them this year.
Dude, it's going to be so personal, dude. It's going to be so nasty. There's going to be some disrespectful plays made that game, bro. And it's going to be warranted. But yeah, there's a real nasty taste in the mouth. And we need to avenge the cold weather loss of last season, man. Mm-hmm. And that was brutal. It was just brutal. And, oh my God, I hate UNT so much. I'm so glad that we've got him here in that like mid-season time. I don't like playing them at the end of the season. I like having them kind of in the middle, meaty, girthy part of the year, where both teams are kind of really in stride. They're healthy. They're beating the hell out of each other. I think this is a great time for this game. And so, it's always my favorite game. It really is. My favorite opponents. Hate them the most.
Yeah, glad it's continuing. The more I think about it, the more I would have missed UNT had they not been selected for the AAC.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Probably the game of the year in conference play.
Well, thank God we get a bye week after UNT.
I was about to say, I forgot that we got the bye week right before them.
We get the bye week, Halloween weekend. Okay. So, and let's
hope, good because that's always a bad weekend for attendance.
Well, let's hope the boys aren't going too crazy at the Outpost that Saturday night. Okay, it's hard to have the bye weekend be Halloween weekend because
are you predicting some first half suspensions in Birmingham?
You like to think the boys are going to be in the race, just discipline, focus, film room, weight room session. But I tell you, dude,
they didn't have a lock-in at the race. There's so much stuff to do at race.
You need to have a lock-in because if you're sitting at your apartment in Hill Country and you look out the window after 9 p.m. on Halloween Saturday, man, you're going to see a group of things going to the car, going to the next apartment over. Man. And those boys are going to be right out there and look, they're going to be right in the middle of the Halloween madness, bro. And trick or treat. Holy cow. So let's try to have some good discipline there.
Walk in a race, dude. You got the barbershop, everybody gets a fresh fade, right? You got the pool, right? Hanging out of the pool a little bit, little hot tub action, yada yada. You got the video games going, you got the basketball. What do you call that thing? You shoot the little basket, the little blow up,
sure.
Deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep the guys out of trouble.
Maybe a little community involvement, maybe have the guys set up in a neighborhood with a big bowl of candy, right?
Yeah, trick or treat at race.
The kids. Yeah, yes. We need some healthy community sanctioned events that weekend for the football team. I don't trust it. I want to trust me. I want to trust me. So, well,
I mean, we went to UTSA, man. We know what those Halloween weekends are like.
We know what those Halloween weekends are like, my boy.
It's easy to get in trouble.
So November
Anyways.
5th at UAB, we got to go to the Ham. Which, are you going to the Ham this year?
I'll be there. Yes, sir.
Oh man, I'm gonna try to make that with you.
Yeah, it sounds like a pretty good amount of my tailgating group is going out, so that's really exciting.
Like every season, it becomes more and more of a destination. Ever since the first
Dude,
year that you went and you had
I'm out here evangelizing for Birmingham, man.
Dude, ever since you had that pineapple pina colada front row, it's changed the whole entire perception of Birmingham.
I heard that they don't have them at the new stadium. That was a Legion Field special.
Oh my gosh, what a travesty.
Yeah. It's all good though, because the new stadium is downtown, right? So like pre-game, post-game, you're making moves, man. There's breweries all over.
Yeah.
It's all
really
good.
Cool spot. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we can get away with a win or loss here if we take care of the rest of the schedule, Jared. You're fine with having to slip against UAB because we could still get another chance at them in the championship.
Sure. But I mean, I think the main thing to point out here for maybe the fans that don't follow Conference USA as closely as just freako sickos like me, UAB lost their head coach. Their head coach, Bill Clark, headed. I hesitate to call it a retirement because he certainly left the door open to returning to coaching. But he stepped away from the program. He got a spinal fusion surgery.
Yeah, it's all health related. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty crazy. So he himself, not the AD, elevated their offensive coordinator, Bryant Vincent. So that's,
I'll tell you what, dude, you carry a program to 4 consecutive championships. It's going to do some damage to that back, my boy. And so
that's true,
dude.
That's true.
Bill Clark, man, what a freaking legend in this conference. Mm-hmm. Hope to see him back, but you just have to assume that UAB, as veteran and experienced they are, as talented as they are, as explosive as they are, you just have to assume you take a step back. You don't lose a guy of that caliber and stay the same team the very next season. You just don't.
Yeah, they could take a step back and still be a damn good ball team.
Still be a championship team.
They could still be, 100%, man. Because that UAB team last year, like, man, they beat BYU was ranked like 15. They beat them in a bowl game, So they could take a step back and still be the best team in this conference, hands down. That's look at that roster, dude. Go up and down the roster. You recognize so many names, dude. So many ball players, right? So I don't know, man. I'm really interested to see how it goes. I never saw Bryant Vincent as a future Division I head coach. I don't know if UAB fans felt differently or not. It didn't sound like he made a great impression at media day, which means very little. But I'm really curious to see how they look these first couple of weeks of the season.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, make no doubt about it. I mean, Coach Vincent's coaching for his job, right? Like, obviously, multi-million-dollar payday, So he's be up late in the video room trying to scout out
a situation where if they get off to an abysmal start, it's like a mid-season thing. It's that crucial, huh?
Yeah, because you'll be like seeing AD going around trying to interview people because it's late in the year. It's in November, man. Nowadays, dude, early signing day. We've seen firsthand. These coaching searches starting earlier and earlier, right? So I can see it. If UAB loses a couple of those conference games early on, I can see that definitely distracting the team for sure.
It's a fragile year for UAB.
It is, It's a very important year as they head into the AAC.
They got to start off strong if they're going to make it through it, or else it's going to be very adversity.
Yep.
So then Louisiana Tech, for what's hopefully the last time we have to see the dang thing, November 12th in the Alamo Dome, Military Appreciation Day.
Yep.
How's La Tech going to look this year?
I think they'll be better. I don't know if I don't think they've recruited up to the level they were as far as, depth. But they've got like Smoke Harris out wide, incredible receiver. They're going to TCU transfer, starting quarterback, and Matthew Downing is his name. They've got a great middle linebacker, Tyler Grubbs, I believe was his name. So they've got some really key pieces, right? But I do think that they have kind of slipped a little bit in recruiting based off where they were in the past.
Right.
So I think later in the year, probably have some injuries, probably be banged up. But I wouldn't be shocked if this team gets to a bowl game next year. I haven't seen their schedule and see how that weighs out, without a conference stuff. But I think they'll be a decent team. And, I'm glad this game is in the Alamo Dome. Mostly to avoid a trip to Ruston.
Yeah, no
But
kidding.
yeah, I think this is kind of similar to Middle Tennessee. Like, I think people are maybe writing them off a little bit too quick. I don't think they'll beat UTSA, but I also don't see UTSA just trouncing them.
Okay, fair enough.
Dude, next week, Rice.
At
Talk
the
about it.
historic Rice Stadium, my man.
We'll be out there. Be out
I
there.
love it. I love it. I love that stadium.
Little Alamo audible tailgate, maybe. I don't know.
I love that place. You're just a massive freaking bowl of concrete, just a concrete slab carved out into a stadium. Yes,
man.
Historic.
You think they're gonna be on an interim coach for this game?
Oh man, that's a good question. They very well could be.
I think so.
They very well could
I'm
be.
looking at their schedule. It's pretty rough, man.
Mm-hmm.
The only game that is a for sure win is McNeese State. We'll see.
That's the only for sure you're given.
Yep. But it'd be fun. It's always a good time to get the Houston alumni all together, take over that stadium like we always do, have a good rip-roaring time in the parking lot, head on home with a victory.
Yep, that's right. That's right. And then you host UTEP in the Alamo Dome for the last game of the regular season, Fan Appreciation Day. Really should be Minor Appreciation Day. We should give out freaking UTEP shirts to everybody, and we all just have one big cookout, just all UT system family style. They bring the pastor, we do the carne, and we just freaking mix it all up, baby. It would be awesome. Dude, yeah.
Man.
Is this
gonna be a bittersweet game?
It will be, for sure. A lot of memories playing UTEP over the years. Is this the softest landing of the end of the season that we've had, and how long with Rice and UTEP to round out the year, man? Dude.
No, I think UTEP's gonna be really good.
Oh, that's right, though. That's right. You did say that. Yeah, they were good historically. They were good last year.
Yes.
Yeah, and this game's always hard. Yes. But I'd rather have the Rice UTEP lineup than
Western Kentucky, UAB.
Yeah, North Texas. Yeah, and all them at the end. So, dude, UTEP, Rice, I think that gives this team a really, really good opportunity to finish on a high, finish very, very strong with that championship game push, right? And trying to solidify our spot in there. I think gives us really good chances for that. And, towards the end of the year, guys are beat up, guys are hurt. Get some time to maybe get some guys rested up, make sure you can win the games and do it easily. Yeah, man. I think it sets up really nice for us with that at the end.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think that kind of ties into overall message for the year, right? It's going to be a marathon, not a sprint. I know everyone's super focused on the ATAS conference schedule, but at the end of the day, when you're competing at this level of college football, ATA conference doesn't mean a whole lot.
Right.
UTSA has such a small chance to get into that New Year's Six game.
Right.
It's hard to imagine. You would have to win 11 games for sure and get lucky. Obviously, if you go undefeated, there's a pretty good chance that they could pull that off. But, when you're not playing for a playoff spot, ATA conference doesn't mean a whole lot. You just want to see the team be competitive, get out healthy. If you win some, that's great. It's a huge bonus for sure. Everyone loves to be ranked, get fan excitement, get good attendance and all of that. But we all remember how it felt to watch the guys hoist that trophy up in the Alamo Dome, man. And to run that back would be the sweetest feeling of all, right? So I hope the fan base stays on for the ride and know that it's going to be a bumpier one than last year. I mean, the strength of schedule is incredibly tougher than it was last season. Exponentially, right?
But you know what? Now that we've gone through the schedule game by game, I do feel better about it because it really does happen in waves, the schedule. You got Houston, Army, Texas stacked out the gate. But then you got TSU, Middle Tennessee, WKU, and FIU. Well, that's pretty nice little 4-week stretch right there.
Yeah.
Very winnable. And you throw North Texas in that mix as well. I mean, that's 5 games of, all right, we feel good now, and we like our chances in all those games. And then you got to go up against UAB and Louisiana Tech. Could get a little hairy again.
Yeah,
you kind of have the waves occur here, but you if you make it through September, and you've still got your dignity and you're still able to play collective football, you really got to like the way this team goes the rest of the season. I mean, September is by far the hardest month, by far.
All right, man. It's time to make our win-loss predictions. Before I issue one, I want to say that I think that this UTSA team is going to be a better football team than last year, top to bottom. When you look at the sum of the parts, I think it's a better team. I don't think the record's going to show that. I've got them winning 9 games in the regular season.
I'm going to say 10.
Mm-hmm. We're doing regular season only, correct?
Regular season only. If we split out, I have us winning out conference. I have us winning out conference. I really don't have any doubts about that in my mind.
Oh, man, that's so confident, dude.
My concern is, when I look at the conference schedule, UTSA is the team to beat. And until that's not the narrative, we win all those games. I really think that there's a chance that this team can split out of conference. I think they can. It's hard. It's very, very hard.
It's doable.
I think it's doable.
Yeah.
But I love our Conference USA chances, and I really do have us winning that conference.
Yeah. I mean, like when you look at like the advanced stat, like predicted spreads or whatever. Yeah. I mean, UTSA is only like a point underdog to Houston. They're favored against Army. So they're pretty dang close to having like, the advanced algorithms in Vegas predicting them to split that 4-game stretch.
If you can win one of those first 3, I mean, your chances to getting double digit or 9 wins, so plausible.
Right.
Very, very much so. You just got to win one of those 3. I think this team can win 9-10 games for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're not giving the rest of the conference enough credit.
Sure.
Because it's not about who has a better roster, better coach, man. Crazy things happen.
But to be the champ, you got to beat the champ, baby. And we got the belt right now. And I'm going to command that respect.
Yeah.
I will say I'm super surprised that you're choosing 9.
Really?
Yeah, I thought you were going to say 8.
Yeah. I feel pretty confident about beating Army.
Okay.
I didn't say this earlier. They have Coastal first week.
So
Coastal UTSA back-to-back is pretty tough.
What's the conference game that you're not confident about? Is it the UTEP one or is it the UAV one? Or is it both?
I mean, I can see like some of these other random teams just like sneaking up on UTSA. And I mean, Southern Miss almost beat UTSA last year.
Yes.
UTSA is very lucky to win that game. Right?
Yes.
So it's not so much I'm picking any one of these specific teams to like pull an upset. I might pull out of a hat when I do my actual predictions, but it's just like the nature of football. Like it's so hard to,
you got it,
not slip up, especially when you've won as many games in recent history as UTSA has, right? Like it's easy to lose sight of that.
And that's the scary thing.
Even Bama, right? Even Bama has that one game a year that they might not lose, but they get taken down to the final snap against, Mississippi State or whatever.
It's just football.
It happens, man. It's football.
It's just football. Yeah, it's just football. And the scary thing about winning out conference is how does that affect our chances to win the championship game, right? If you haven't lost a conference game all season long and then you get to that championship game, it's like, well, you're due, right? You're due for your turn, right? And so it gets scary. It gets a little weird. How long can the streak keep going? Sure. But no, I love this team's chance. I think this team stays healthy. This team can run to USA and find themselves comfortably in the driver's seat in Conference USA Championship again, for sure.
Last question before we wrap this up. What's your biggest concern about this team for this year? Could be anything.
I mean, I think you got to say health. I think you have to say health. I'm not worried about like this team getting to their heads and like relaxing. I think Jeff Traylor has just proven through his 2 seasons here that this team is ready to play every single week. Minus the UNT slip up last year. And I think it was that game against FAU where we got routed. This team shows up on a pretty consistent basis. So I got to say health. If this team stays healthy, if this roster stays healthy, sky's the limit. We get into some health problems. Well, then it gets scary. What about you?
Yeah. Kind of concerned about the depth at safety. Chapman's got a really good chance to be a special player. I think Pitt Cage can be really good. But outside Rashad Wisdom, there's nothing really solid and
doesn't
certain.
It feel like we have that concern every year?
Yes. Yes. We never have any concerns about defensive line. Not a whole lot with running back either. But yeah, safety is always a big question mark for you.
I think I've stopped worrying about it because it always just seems to work itself out.
That's a fair point. It's a fair point.
It always just seems to work itself out one way or the other. I don't know how, but it does.
Dude, another thing, I feel like you always pick one more win than I do every year. Like I pick 8, you pick 9. I pick 9, you pick 10.
I'm not going to say that I had 9 as my pre-selected number up until the moment that you said it. But it's possible that that's what happened.
Yeah. I think it's just in our nature,
It's possible. It's very well possible that I had an extended pause after you said 9 because there's no way I couldn't go one more higher.
That's too funny.
I just had to.
Yeah. Well, hey, hopefully once again we get proven to be fools and they go out and have 12, 13 win season and we all get a relish in that.
I love it. I love it.
Adrian, welcome to football season. We had a great all season, man. We got so much great content out, new website, Patreon's going crazy, all kinds of stuff going on. So
maybe that's also a reason why it doesn't feel like it's here yet, because we've been so busy building out the website, building out all the Patreon stuff and building out all this and that. And it's like, we finally got it up. All right, now we can oh no, we can't rest. Football season is here now.
Dude, I'm gonna be so burned out in the December, man. I might need you to carry me to the finish line, brother. But we'll make it through. We'll make it through.
Carry you down the aisle to get to the altar in January.
Dude, awesome. Seriously. I know, man. All right, guys. Well, check out our podcast with Birds Up Podcast. UTSA Alumni Association should be coming out today, tomorrow, something like that. And then we'll be back next week for a guest interview with the Scott and Holman podcast, who's been covering Houston athletics incredibly well for many, many years. Amazing guys, great people. And then we also have the summit for our Patreon subscribers on next Wednesday. And then on Saturday, we'll be out there at the Alumni Association tailgate, I think at 11:30 or 12:30?
12:30. 12:30. Well, yeah. So 2.5 hours before kickoff, so 12 is whenever we'll be going. 12. Yeah
Cool. Yeah, like I said, details to be announced, so keep an eye out for that. And then we'll see you guys at tailgate, man. We'll be making our rounds. Oh
my gosh, I can't wait. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. We will see you at the Alamo Dome next Saturday, baby.